Good Friday morning, everybody. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to the Cruise News. Now, first off, I just want to thank everybody that showed up to the live this past Wednesday. Saw a lot of new names in there, a lot of new people in there, just continuing on the conversation, joining the cruising family. I just want to thank again, everybody who shows up to our weekly lives. They are so much fun. Really love doing them. We have just good cruising conversation. Can go just about any direction. If you haven't had the opportunity to join us on a live, recommend it. Come in, be part of the conversation. They are every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Everybody is welcome. But enough of that. Let's get into the cruise news. And today we're going to start off with Norwegian Cruise Lines, because after 3 long years, Norwegian Cruise Lines is once again sailing out of Asia. The Norwegian Jewel sailed yesterday from Tokyo, and she's going to be sailing 16 different itineraries with 9 different embarkation ports. So she is going to be all over Asia. Lots of opportunities to see different places, different itineraries, start from different places, just, some really good Asian opportunities. Today is a milestone moment as we return to Asia with Norwegian Jewel's arrival to Tokyo. We pride ourselves in delivering the best vacation experience and providing endless opportunities for our guests to explore the world, including Asia, said David J. Herrera, president of Norwegian Cruise Line. This region delivers some of the most intriguing history, cuisine, and culture for travelers to discover, and we are thrilled to deliver a diverse selection of port-rich voyages. This market is important to us, and we are committed to servicing it in the long term. Now, for Norwegian, the Jewel is just the beginning. They said they are planning to add additional ships going into 2024 and 2025 to the region, and the ships will move between Australia sailings and Asia sailings. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity if you love Norwegian and you want to sail out of Asia. Now, hurricane season, we are close. We are close to the end of hurricane season, but we are definitely not there yet, because we currently have 2 storms that we're keeping an eye on, a tropical storm and a hurricane, that have the possibility of affecting some cruises. We have Tropical Storm Tammy out in the Atlantic Ocean, headed toward the Eastern Caribbean, and we have Hurricane Norma that's moving north up along the western side of Mexico. Now, Tropical Storm Tammy, not a very strong tropical storm, barely a tropical storm, at least as of right now, does have the potential to get stronger as it moves along and begins to turn north, but is expected to cross over the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, St. Lucia, and Antigua. So any cruise ships in that area have the possibility of, at least right now, seeing some rough weather, some rough seas, but there have been no itinerary changes yet. So while there is a potential for it, nothing has caused an itinerary change that the cruise lines have released yet. Now, Hurricane Norma is expected to hit Cabo San Lucas this weekend. But as far as cruising goes, there's not actually any cruise ships that are scheduled to be there this weekend. So chances of any kind of itinerary changes are pretty slim. Now, remember, with either one of these storms, they can change. They can speed up, they can go slower, they can change directions. Tropical storm has the potential to become a hurricane. Hurricane Norma, while only a Category 1 hurricane, has the potential to grow even stronger. So while there's no current itinerary changes, no current, ships over on the West Coast that are going to be affected, definitely still keep an eye on it, because things can change overnight, and tomorrow it could be a whole different story. Now, the official end to hurricane season is November 30th, so a little over a month away before it's the official end. So while the storms have been slowing down recently, it is still, worthwhile to know that it is hurricane season. There is always the potential that a sailing can be affected, and you never know the number of storms that could possibly pop up and affect cruising over the next 30 days. Now, Silver Seas Cruises, the Silver Spirit, well, those passengers, they had a little bit of an adventure at the end of their cruise when the ship developed propulsion problems, started to have engine problems, and had to be towed into port. Now, for the passengers, this was the end of the cruise. She was heading back into home port, heading back in for disembarkation. So none of the cruise was affected. It was kind of a last minute issue that popped up while they were heading back in. And none of the ship's services were affected. You know, all of the lights, the air conditioning, the power, all that stuff was still working. It was only affected propulsion. Remember, cruise ships have multiple engines. And usually when one of them has an issue or a failure, the others can pick up the slack. In this case, though, it still affects propulsion. That's normally what always affected first, because they have to maintain power to the other systems. In this case, they were concerned about speed. They were concerned about maneuverability for docking. That's why they asked to be towed in. So the ship made it in. All the passengers disembarked. No issues as far as passengers go. Now, at this point, though, Silver Seas has not said, is this going to affect or has this affected any of the future cruising? It's really going to all depend on what exactly is wrong with the engine. Is this something they can fix underway with reduced speed? They skip ports. Is it going to require emergency dry dock? We haven't heard anything yet from Silver Seas, but as I said, just a little bit of adventure. You're out on your cruise, enjoying your cruise, and your very last night on board the ship, you have to be towed back to port. So it's one of those not normal cruise stories that these folks will get to go home and tell. So the Carnival Corporation, they have announced they have sold one of their Spirit class vessels, the Costa Atlantica. And the Costa Atlantica, well, she's already has a new home. She's going to be headed to Margaritaville at Sea and is going to be renamed the Margaritaville at Sea Islander. Now, Margaritaville at Sea currently only has one ship. They used to have two. The COVID shutdown came in. They were forced to sell one off for scrap. So they're down to one cruise ship, the Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, which is also a former Costa ship, but was built in 1991. So the Paradise got a lot of years and a lot of miles on her. She is definitely an older cruise ship. The introduction of a Spirit class cruise ship, while still not a super young ship, so still 23 years old, but it does give Margaritaville at Sea a second ship. It will give them a newer ship, and it will be a Spirit class ship, which for Carnival Cruise Lines, they're still sailing these Spirit class ships. They're still out there. They're still workhorses. So it is still a ship that people know. It's a class of ship that people know and a class of ship that people like. Now, Margaritaville at Sea has not announced or come out with what their plans are for the ship other than the name registry change to Margaritaville at Sea Islander. Beyond that, we don't know what their plans are. What kind of updates, what kind of changes they're going to make. I'm sure that'll all be announced here in the coming future. But if you like Margaritaville at Sea, like those short, pretty inexpensive cruises, but would like to see them get a newer ship or newer than what they currently have, it's coming your way. And finally, we got Princess Cruise Lines. Well, Princess Cruise Lines, they are making some pricing changes. Some pricing changes that could affect the way some people book cruises if you book them from Princess Cruise Lines. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen it. Traditionally, as you get closer to a sail date, especially a cruise ship that doesn't have all the cabins filled, you get close to that sail date and they still got 20, 30, 100, whatever number of cabins that are empty on board that ship, you'll see that sale price. You'll see that last minute price drop for that cruise because naturally the cruise line wants to fill up every single cabin. They don't want to sail with any empty rooms. According to Princess, they're not going to do that anymore. Those last minute discounts, those last minute price drops, all that is going to go away. And what they're going to start focusing on is getting people to book cruises earlier. So now, according to Princess, when they release new cruises, so for example, you got the 2024, 2025 cruises that are currently out, they've been released. Well, right now, that is the cheapest, the absolute cheapest that those cruises will ever be. When they start releasing the 2026 cruises, when they first come out, that is the cheapest that they're actually going to be, and they are only going to increase in price as you get closer to the sale date. Meaning, those last minute deals, according to Princess, they are going away. So if you're one of those type of cruisers that you like to wait until the last minute and hey, let's see what's available this at the end of this month or next month. Is there any space available on this ship? Because I like to book at the last minute, see what kind of deal I can get. According to Princess, you're now gonna pay more for that room than somebody who booked earlier and earlier. A Princess Cruise vacation is the best value in travel, but with continuing increases in consumer demand, our new pricing approach will always reward guests who lock in their princess vacations well in advance, said Terry Thornton, Chief Commercial Officer for Princess Cruise Lines. Gone are the days of last-minute deep discounts close to departure dates. The best time to secure a spot on a 2024 or 2025 Princess Cruise is right now. So the days of the last-minute price discount are gone, according to Princess anyway. But I kind of have a question about that. What happens with one of these cruises where, okay, sure, it's a 2025 cruise. Right now is the lowest price I can get. Let's fast forward in time all the way to 2025. Let's say it's 2 months before a sailing in 2025, and this ship is not booked up. Let's say there's 100 cabins still available on the ship, but the price at that particular time is going to be the highest that it can possibly be. It's not going to go cheaper, but nobody wants it at that price. Are you telling me the cruise line is not going to discount those cabins at the last minute to fill them up? Isn't it not still better to be full with some profit than to sail with no profit from 100 empty cabins? Will Princess's new pricing structure benefit them? Will it fill all these cabins up? Will these ships always sail at maximum, occupancy? I guess time is going to tell. Let's see if Princess is right, Princess is wrong. I'm just not sure I'm 100% believing, I guess, that at the last minute they're not going to try to fill these cabins. But you never know. At least at first, they're probably going to stick to their guns. And then if they find out they're sailing with a lot of empty cabins, they may change that pretty quick. And usually, too, other than, that last-minute discounts you saw, normally the earlier you booked, the better price you always got. Okay, so not a whole lot of change, in my opinion, to the Princess pricing model. I felt like cruise lines have always rewarded people for booking earlier, with the exception possibly being of, brand new cruise ships. When the Sun Princess itinerary first, drops and you can first book it and all that kind of good stuff, naturally the price is going to be higher. It's a brand new cruise ship. Everybody wants to get on it. So, that being an exception to the rule. But just for an example, if you're going to go and book, let's say, the Regal Princess or the Caribbean Princess for 2025, yeah, booking it now, you're probably going to get a much better price than you will later on. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out here over the next couple of years, if this Princess is going to stick to it, or they're going to change their minds here when they see it's successful or not successful. But those are not the only changes that Princess is making. Princess is also now says that they are going to price match a cheaper, less expensive cruise. So if you find this same cruise with the same itinerary and the same cabin category and it's a lower price, Princess says they're going to price match it with the best price guarantee. And they also say that you can now go book a future cruise. A future cruise at today's prices. However, you don't have to select dates. You don't have to select itineraries. You simply have to commit to a future cruise, but you can do that at today's prices. So if you want to book a cruise in 2024, 2025, but you don't know when you're going to go, you don't know exactly, which one you're going to do yet, but the prices are really low now versus what they're going to be, well, you can go ahead and book it without without selecting the specifics, itinerary, dates, and all that, but get today's prices. So that does sound like there's an opportunity that you can save money with the best price guarantee and being able to say, hey, I'm just going to commit to a future cruise. I just don't know which one it is yet. But let me ask you guys, what do you think about Princess's new price modeling? Are you one of those people that would wait to the last minute and maybe grab a last minute deal to save a couple dollars? Or are you more like me? Because I'm notorious, I like to book as far in advance as possible just so I can get all of my ducks in a row. I'm already looking at, late into 2024, 2025 cruises, already getting them set up for the ones I want to book now while we're still in 2023. But at the same time, if something was the last minute pop up and be just what I wanted and just what I needed, and they were offering a good price, well, I'd probably jump on that too. But I know not everybody can do the last minute stuff. So you guys let me know what you think about Princess's new changes. What do you think about their price match guarantee? And would you book a cruise today, or would you commit to booking a cruise today, put down your deposit without selecting a date and itinerary for the future? And that's going to be our cruise news video for today. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.